Shohei Ohtani or Juan Soto? Which one would be a better fit for the Yankees? Let's get into it. So things are starting to heat up a little bit, okay, with Shohei Ohtani and Juan Soto. Chatter, right? And for different reasons, whatnot, but they're both two of the best players in baseball, there's no doubt about it. Shohei Ohtani is a two-way star, so that has to be factored in. It's one of the probably the best two-way star we've had since Babe Ruth. So it's really hard to argue that. And Juan Soto is a younger star player of his own as well. He's an elite hitter. He's not a two-way guy, but they're both probably two of the most coveted players in all of baseball. Okay, and let's talk about it. What would it be like trading for them at the deadline? Because right now we're hearing chatter about Ohtani and the Padres. I mean, not Ohtani, Juan Soto and the Padres are losing money. Their financial situation is a little precarious right now, so they may have to move on from Juan Soto because they feel like they won't be able to afford to extend him. Now he's got another year left before he becomes a free agent in 2025. So there's still time, obviously, but they're looking to extend him and Josh Hader if they can. But with the financials that we're hearing about now, it doesn't look like that's possible. So it may be wise for them to put him on the market, and that's what we're kind of hearing chatter-wise. Now, the Angels are an outside shot of a wild card, so they want to show Ohtani that they can compete here. So my guess they're going to be uber aggressive at the trade deadline. And if they're not, and they can't get guys that they want to improve the team, then maybe they'll consider moving him. Because either way, it's going to cost a haul to get both or either. So let's break it down. So the Yankees acquire, and just for stat purposes, okay, this year, Shohei Ohtani is right nice, hitting .299 with 21 home runs, 71 hits. He's got 45 runs, 52 ribbies, and he's got on-base percentage of .377, slugging .610. He's got career .357 on base and career .540 slugging, okay? And pitching-wise, Shohei the pitcher, he's 5-2 with a .332 ERA and 102 strikeouts with a WHIP of 1.04. So obviously, high level, high strikeout guy too. Now Juan Soto this year, batting .259, so not as high as a .299. He's got 11 homers, 60 hits, 36 runs, 33 ribbies. He's got .409 on base percentage. He draws a lot of walks, so not only does he get hits, but he manufactures base running. So because he draws a boatload of walks, so he slugs .470. His career on base is .422, including with the hits on the walk. So that's something to be noticed here. Career slugging of .520 and a career OPS of .943, which is pretty damn high. And a lot of folks are like the OPS. Ohtani's career OPS is .897, so is higher. But again, they have their talents, elite talents on both sides, right? So that's what we're talking about here. Now, age-wise, Juan Soto will be 26 at the end of his contract, okay? When he becomes a free agent, he'll be 26 in October. Ohtani's going to be, this year, he's going to be 30 in June. So there's an age thing there. So something to keep in mind, whether they wait until he's a free agent or a trade for him. And you're obviously going to give up a haul. I mean, expect them to ask for Oswald Peraza, Everson Pereira, probably Clayton Beeter or Will Warren, other players as well. And, just come to the terms where you'd probably have to give up a lot. Okay, not probably. Definitely have to give up a lot for either. But which one's a better bet? Okay. My concern with Shohei Ohtani, and don't get me wrong, he's elite. So you got a starter at the front of the rotation, and you have an elite hitter too. There's no doubt about it. But the problem I have with it is if he gets hurt, right? Shoulder, Tommy John, whatever. You lose a hitter and a pitcher at the same time. He can't do either of the things. So if he gets Tommy John surgery or whatever it is, it may take him not as long to come back as a hitter as it would a pitcher. But that said, coming back soon could affect his recovery as a pitcher as well. So I don't know what they would do there. You might have to take the Tommy John route and do the full recovery, so he won't be able to hit. So that's a big hit. And again, he's probably going to cost, let's just say 10 years, $500 million, as maybe conservatively. That's $50 million a year. Every year, which is going to be on the wrong side of 30. Remember, he's going to be free 30 in June, so next June. So something to keep in mind. If you get 5 years of elite play, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. He'll be 35, and then it could be a sharp decline then. On the other hand, Soto is going to be 26 at the end of the year of his first year. So you get 5 years of elite play there. You're looking at being between 30 and 31. So basically, when Ohtani's contract starts, you're already halfway through Juan Soto's contract. Let's just say he gets $450 for 10 years. I think they're either one's going to get a 10-year deal. So, and since Ohtani's a two-way player, I think he's going to make more money. But to me, Juan Soto's youth has an advantage, and obviously, if he gets hurt, you're going to lose time regardless, just like Ohtani would. But I like the fact that he's 4 years younger, and the Yankees can get more elite, or any team can get more elite years, more prime years from Soto than they would Ohtani. So now, would I be upset they got Ohtani? No. Got a huge Japanese market? Not at all. Okay, but also he DHs when he's not pitching. They're going to have to make a corresponding move. They're going to have to figure out a way to move on from Stanton. Very hard to do. Okay, unless they eat a chunk of his contract and send it to the Dodgers, the only team that sounds like he's willing to waive his no trade clause for. But that's not even a guarantee either. Whereas Juan Soto, you could plug him in the outfield. Okay, we need a left fielder. You have Juan Soto. Okay, and he's better than anybody we can think of that they would trade for. At the deadline, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He's better than all of them. So he's younger than most of them too. So if I had to pick one or the other, it would be Juan Soto. That's a better long-term bet for the Yankees. But again, would it preclude them from making other moves? Doesn't sound like it now. Hal Steinbrenner is saying we need a combination of veterans and young players, and New York wants superstars. It sounds as if he might be willing to spend again. And they also have about $70 million coming off the books this offseason. His contract, if they did trade from him, obviously you'd have to pay that. But then if you extend them, they may not even extend them until the end of next year, in which case it would be 26 to 36 instead of 30 to 40 for Ohtani. So he would be on a relatively cheap contract next year too, if they did that and they started his extension at the end of next season. So who knows? Or they may just add the year or whatever they'll do. But to me, I would go with Juan Soto. I think the cost would be more worthwhile. It doesn't even sound like they'd have to give up Volpe. The Nationals didn't like him, and I don't think they'd have to give up a lot of infielders because they've already got who they have Machado. They got Xander Bogaerts. They have a lot of elite superstar infielders already. So they may have to part with Peraza to play second. I think it'll be better. But again, a lot of folks are even saying play him at second for the Yankees. I think he's a better shortstop than Volpe is, but who knows? The Padres' needs and likes are different than the Nationals were. The Nationals didn't like Volpe didn't like Dominguez either, but they liked Peraza. So it'd be really interesting to see what they would have to give up to get either one of these players. But granted, it's going to be an absolute freaking massive haul. But again, you're also trading for half a season of Ohtani right now. You're trading for a season and a half of Juan Soto. So just things for perspective, just things for food of thought. Again, the contract to me, if you get a 10-year deal, all 10 years is going to be the wrong side of 30 for Ohtani. I hope he stays elite because he's really fun to watch. Soto, you get half and half, essentially. So 5 years of, 25 to 30, 26 to 30, and 5 years 30 to 35. That to me makes a huge difference. I felt the same way about Judge. Okay, so and he's been on the deal IL twice already this year. One for hustle, obviously, play, so I get it. But that said, that to me matters. And if you could plug in a guy like that long term on the outfield, and this is the thing too. Shohei Ohtani roadblocks offensive players. Juan Soto does not. So that's another thing to think of as well. But would I be upset if the Yankees got either? No. Not at all. So, and I've already said that I would have, the only two people I would have traded the haul for, I said at the deadline last year, were Ohtani and Soto. So, obviously Luis Castillo, but that's not even the conversation worth having because he's already signed with the Mariners and extended for 6 years. So, pointless. But I want to know what your thoughts. This is an interesting conversation. They could heat up. They really, really could. And if the Padres are in a precarious financial situation, they might be motivated to trade Soto sooner than later. Maybe the Yankees can give up a massive haul of prospects for him. especially if prospects are blocked here too. I would have no problem giving up Everson Pereira, Jason Dominguez, Trey Sweeney, probably Will Warren or Clayton Beater, one or the other, but not both. It probably costs more than that too. And Angels have more of a need for position players than the Padres do. So, I think the packages would look different for either player. But again, give me your feedback, gang. Really, I want to know what you think. Let's talk about it. And hopefully the Yankees will play better moving forward. But could you imagine one of these guys in the pinstripes? Who would you want if you could get either? Both would be absolutely insane, but the Yankees would have no fun. They'd be playing Elm Jack Little League as their minor league team after that. So that's I mean nuts, but I don't see that happening anyway. But who's your pick? Who's a better investment and why? What would you expect to see out of these guys? So elite players one way or the other. Let's get into it. Talk to you later.